How close are we at getting out of this pandemic? Do you feel confident that we are close to the end? What would the end look like? We had the Minister of Tourism say that, listen, this was our best quarter. This was our best quarter by far. We had about 60,000 guests month. And we had 60,000 guests. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. How close do you think we are with getting out of this pandemic? And what would do you think that it would take more of us getting vaccinated to get out of this pandemic, or can we ride it out? Can we ride it out? I'm curious as to your thoughts. Caller, you're on the head back. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Nahaja Black, Alan Johnson. How are you doing?
Oh my goodness. What you say, buddy?
Not much, man. On what the communication that the Minister of Tourism said, I find him most great linguistically, but I find that he brings some truths and a lot of things he say when he's not thinking about what he's saying. I listened to him say it's going to take 3 years for us to even return to normal. And then I listened to him say it's the best quarter compared to zero.
Yes, right.
Yes. So what he means is when we was reset to zero, and he was challenged on the 3 year type things. He said, yeah, there's some pent up demand and this, how it's all hype.
Yeah.
So, right. But then at the same time, he says, yes, but it's going to take 3 years for us to return to our 7 million record, and I don't know what data he's using for that. But
Well, he's using the IMF's data, not the the IMF and the World Bank's data.
Yeah, but if you read their reports, you would find out that we are in a critical and crisis situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you take accumulation of reports from the central bank, from the utterances of the ministers coming out of cabinet, the Moody's report, then you look at the global revelations concerning the tourism product, then combine that with the CDC messages, which changes almost daily on crews leaving the U.S. Go and read the report that the airline industry is putting out. Then you watch what the White House is putting out. Mm-hmm. Again, combine that with the CDC report. This is why data is very important. I would tell you we are in for a long ride. Okay,
a long ride.
Yes, because what happens is you have our leadership literally trying to rebuild what the world has left behind. Mm-hmm. And, in the methodologies that we're using about, tourism going to come back and we're going to fill up those hotels again and we're going to do the same old, come to the same New Providence, come to the same Grand Bahama, and we're going to have whatever's going on, not realizing that even our competitors now is readjusting their strategies because they too took a brutal blow from this hospitality industry. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that he did say that's important, this is why we've been waiting. When you asked, what would you be waiting for? For Grand Bahama and Abaco, we're waiting for a rebuild strategy. Not sound bites, governance type things about everything is going okay. 60 people is at the hotel. Yeah. We might sell the airport and this is happening and the school is over this way. We're talking about putting, rebuilding 13,400 homes by the government numbers of homes that was destroyed or impacted. 13,480 that is yet to be repaired. We're talking about rebuilding.
And that's for Dorian or that's from
Dorian, right. And wow. So we're talking about rebuilding an economy where 60 to 70, maybe 80% of businesses is wiped out and gone.
Yep.
And so, we're not, but we're having these song bites as if everything is okay. We're talking about literally where thousands of people are facing housing insecurity. And as far as what they're going to do next, haven't not worked for a year. If it wasn't for the grace that the banking industry have literally stopped foreclosures, we don't know where the Bahamas would be in respect to that. And so we're in the middle of a campaign season when we should actually be, the Prime Minister at this time should be taking the leadership role of bringing all the collective intelligence internally and externally back to look at how do we diversify this economy. And I'm one that personally believes, one that is deep into the data, looking at the alternative data, I know that we can rebuild this economy in the shortest period of time.
Really? See Alan Johnson on the phone with us. Yeah. What is the strategy when you say shortest period of time? Because you're right, the data that they're reading, IMF, World Bank, Looking at a lagging economy with the United States and their bounce back, I'm sure Americans are not planning on really spending their short bits of money the way that we're thinking that big dam is going to be bursting out and breaking in terms of travel.
But I would say to you, because what happens is, if we redefine, one of the things we always said is let's diversify the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Diversifying the economy is not out of sometimes. Sometimes diversification is further in. Let's use an example. We talk about the hospital. We say we into tourism, but more so hospitality. But the Bahamas is uniquely poised for the new digital economy. Remember the ERC said the green economy, blue economy, orange economy, the knowledge economy, the conceptual economy, the digital economy. If you look at each one of those individually and how they integrate into the Bahamas, easily put, in 18 months, you can put 20,000 jobs in each. But here's what the key is. Each one of those digital economy models, each of those models require a build-out if properly executed. And so it is the building of those economy. For instance, 20,000 rooms in the Bahamas, somewhere throughout this. When we just look at bed and breakfasts rather than these mega hotels. And so you're literally talking about building from 10,000 to 20,000 new homes or bed and breakfast units. That's a massive amount of construction over a amount of time. There's not a lack of money in the world at this particular time. No time in history as money has ever been lost. Money has been moved from one
That's
place
all
to
it
the
is.
next.
Say it one more time.
But,
it ain't lost. Money's just been moved.
Right.
That's all. Once people get that, that's a serious thing,
Yeah,
people need to get that. The world ain't broke. They just move where they're spending it.
Yes. And so what I'm saying is that if we were to come and look at the master design for this new economy we have, where we have the medical tourism, we have the health tourism, just on educational tourism, the United States Embassy turns away tens of thousands of individuals from going into the U.S.
Yes.
Their concern is that they will go into the U.S. and integrate themselves with not having financial support. Well, the Bahamas is a unique place now, especially with the digitization of the global economy, that you can have education tourism where people actually come here for virtual learning, digital learning, whatever we want to describe it right here on Grand Bahama. But you have the health tourism, medical tourism, sport tourism, all of these various different things, or hospitality, as what we would call it, which is significantly brings more income than you do from these so-called mega hotels we call cruise ships. So if we just reimagine the economy, right? We can actually find resources. And you say, how do you eat an elephant compared to a grape? One bite at a time. One just takes longer.
Yeah.
And so when you look at empowering tens of thousands of behemoths to become owners, and believe it or not, that DARE bill they give, this new financing bill for crowdfunding and all of these other things, these are powerful tools in the digital economy if you know it. But here's the point. I don't want to drag on, but here's the point. Have you ever been to this wonderful restaurant and you see this things on the menu and you just make a note of all the ingredients? And I want you to put this in perspective also for the digital hub. And so you go and you Google a recipe and you try to duplicate it at home, and it's good food, maybe, and maybe not even good, but it didn't come out like the restaurant because the person in the restaurant don't cook by recipe.
That's it.
So when you get people in this environment who are going to Google instructions that you're going to try to duplicate, it doesn't happen. The chef in the back there, remember the shows where they bring out just the food items and the chef has to cook it and it becomes one of the best?
Yep.
That's because the chef is immersed and understand the environment of which they're building.
You have to understand. There you go. You just called it. Understanding
That's the builders, the type of mindset we need to rebuild and redesign the economy.
Let me ask you this, Alan.
Yes.
Who do you see in any of the political parties so far that has that mindset?
I don't see them. But no, I want to say I really don't, not even in the 22 independent parties. But however, I see a potential for leadership to take its position. You should ask yourself, when I was at IBM almost 40 years ago, the question is, have Bill Gates, since being at IBM, when we said getting the software, has he been in the lab any time for all of the new software development?
No.
Have Michael Dell built any computer recently?
Nope.
No, I'm simply saying this leadership is being able to recognize beyond partisanship those people that have the ability and bring them together as a holistic unit for building a nation.
And you know what? I love that you said that, and we have to go, but I love that you said that, and that's a great point. And it is all about the quality of leadership. I think it was Henry Ford, and you might know this. There was this story that was told about Henry Ford. There was some sort of case that was brought up. Yeah, a lawsuit against him. And he was sitting on the stand, and they asked him.
Yeah, he probably think by intelligence.
Yeah, he said, listen, you do you believe you know everything? And he was like, yeah, okay. And he said, okay, well, how do you know everything? And he said, well, give me a phone. There's no question you could ask me where I can't call someone who could answer it. So, and it's access, right?
And that's where if we come together as a nation collectively rather than in this campaign mode, you'll be surprised at the country we could have in the next year to 18 months.
I think you're talking about a coalition, huh? Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
An alliance. Coalition is after. I wanted an alliance before.
You're listening to The Hit Back. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much.